Another quick point on restoration. It's wonderful if you can do it yourself, and my respect for people who have the time and the dedication to do that is totally boundless. But a lot of us give them to specialists, and there are still guys out there who will do it for sort of 30, 40 quid an hour, but you've got to have a kind of contract with them before you start.
Yeah.
It always helps just to write everything down, the timescales, the payment tranches, you know, what you're expecting, what they say they can deliver, and when, and how much exactly it's going to cost. And if you don't do this, you will fall out later. I mean, over the last couple of years, I've restored 3 cars and used some really, really good people like Martin Roby and Nuneaton and Derek's Minis, who did my little 1959 Mini. They're over in Birmingham. And we just wrote up a simple 2-page contract, and it all worked perfectly. The worst thing that's going to spoil that classic car experience is if you all fall out and end up in court. So the first job really is just work it all out and just have it on paper so everybody knows where they are. And choose your specialist very well.
Yes.
You know, talk to other owners, look on the internet, make sure you've got someone who A, knows the car you're restoring well, and B, has high standards and can do it properly. That's
Absolutely.
really, really vital.
But I think going back to the whole budget thing, I mean, I think you need to do the same thing if you're going to be restoring the car yourself, and also kind of know your limits, understand and be honest with yourself about what you can and can't do and will want to try doing, because it's easy to end up with a disaster. And there's no shame.
You've had some on your shows,
oh, well,
you?
You could argue that, yes. You know, but the thing is, you can't. You know, it's no bad thing. There's no shame in actually accepting that. You know, I'm no good at painting. I've never really tried. You know, well, I did once, I think, on one show, and we did it in the wrong place. I think it was the Jeep, I think it was. And in fact, the side that was lit up was wonderful. The other side that was always in the shadow and also had all the glare was really, really drippy. But there we are. But you know, when you're doing that kind of stuff, you say, you know what, I can do all this, but I can't do that bit. I'll give that to the professional. But also, when you're working on your car, you need to think about, honestly, how long do you think it's going to take? How long do you actually think it's going to cost? Because what you don't want to do is start a little bit of work and then find you can't afford to get to the end of it, because then it means, you know, that's the bit that kills projects. You end up stopping, something else comes up in your life, or whatever, you have to move house, or, you know, somebody gets ill or whatever, and then ends up that car just gets left in a barn for somebody else to find later on, and you don't really want that, although it's nice for the barn finder. I think it's just important just to, you know, to not get carried away early on, but also by having these little milestones, you have a way of celebrating as you go along, because you have to have, I mean, that passion. Again, we're all here because we're passionate about classic cars, and it's that passion that will drag you through the dark times. So you have to be very, very careful about that as well. You can't. It's no good buying a car just to make some profit. You really need to feel something inside about it, of some kind of strange stirring, and then that stirring will actually get you through when it gets tricky, because all projects are going to have a dark moment, aren't they?